What is up, lovelies? Oh, look.
Hello.
You're in the top spot right now. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
We all got good stuff going on. How is it going, everyone? It is another Sketchy Saturday.
Yeah, that's better because we can see all the screen or the full screen of looks. What Luke is doing. It looks great, man.
I'm very tiny up here in the corner of my screen, see?
Yeah,
Just a little bit of me over there.
Just the tip.
Wow, that page is sick, man. That page is sick.
Yeah, it's looking good, man. Well, coming in, everybody. We are doing another Sketchy Saturday. We are doing work. I know. I repositioned this thing and now it's all janky.
Yeah, I'm not showing because spoilers. I have basically the book done. Just have to put some grays in basically all the pages, but the rest is everything is inked. Everything is there. Just have to put the grays and then the lettering, and I'm done with the singular. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could say the same about Vasconcelos 6, but no. Progress is slow. It's also because my head is on animation lately. So, look, what have you been up to last week?
Just actually not as much as I would have liked to been up to. Just not feeling well. This whole recovery thing has taken a little bit longer than I had hoped. So,
yeah, sadly, that's one of those things that you just gotta take as it comes. But I'm really glad you joined, man.
Thanks for having me. Here to hang out today.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime, man. Anytime.
Hey, Glenn. Good morning.
Hey, Glenn.
Glenn's a classy guy.
Yeah, I would have liked to join Nerd Bacon this Thursday, but my side job decided that I was away from work or away from my PC all week. So, yeah, sucks. 4 12-hour days were not fun. Well, in my little bit of spare time, I've been animating for the Love on Korra pilot episode. We'll just show a little bit off later at the end of the stream. So stick around, people, if you want to see spoilers of an intro.
Spoilers.
Well, they're not really spoilers. They're
spoilers.
Small animatics. I've shared them on YouTube as well.
Yeah, I'm still blocked on Facebook, so
Blocked.
I'll check out the things later. I just comment. Somebody put a comment, put a post about this last Marvel movie with Doctor Strange, and I said that I didn't like the movie because of certain things. I don't know if you guys watch it. I didn't, and I just saw some clips on YouTube because I don't care about spoilers when it comes to the MCU. And I just comment. You didn't saw the movie, so I won't spoil anything. But I was agreeing with him. I told him about some stuff that wasn't right to happen with the character, because now it's not the MCU, it's the MCU, and I gave my opinion. I didn't say nothing offensive. I was very polite, like I always am, but just because I put there 2 emojis, that makes you think about a bad word. I didn't type it. I just put the emojis there, and they blocked me. They blocked me for that. But okay, no.
All right, so
Yeah, there's no problem. I think the First Amendment is just out of Facebook right now.
yeah. I mean, the First Amendment only counts if you're saying what they want you to say.
Yeah, basically.
Really? Oh.
Which I push that all the time. See, here's the thing. Here's what I'm learning in today's culture. There are certain people that are, they try to cancel, but they just can't cancel.
Yeah.
And I've learned that they can't cancel you if you don't let them. If you don't care what they say, it's like, look, yeah, you try to cancel me, it doesn't matter. You can try to deplatform me. I'll find another platform. Just, keep at it, whatever.
Yeah, but there are idiots everywhere, so there's no way for us to avoid them. You can't. I've been told that my memes are very political, but none of my memes. If you go to my album of the memes that I've done, there's nothing there about politics because I don't vote. I don't care about politics, and I don't care. And people told me to not post on their groups my memes because they are political. I don't think they are, and it's just I just have a weird sense of humor. I don't provoke anything. If someone says something about something and I disagree, I go there. I tell my opinion politely. I'm not preaching. I'm just saying my stuff. And people, most of the time, if you don't agree with them, you are insulted, and that's bad because nobody can say anything. And nobody, as polite as you can be, if you are just giving your opinion, you're not allowed to do it anymore. Only if you agree with something, you are allowed to say something. If not, there's no debate. There's nothing. It's just like saying the Earth is flat. If you don't believe me, just get the hell out of here. I don't care. So that's the mentality that we have today, unfortunately, on social media. That is because here in Portugal we still have a little bit of we can discuss things, fortunately so far, as I know, as far as I know. But I think
are very. I think people in the States are very soft, emotionally when it comes to those kind of things. Like they can't handle to be contradicted in any way.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to cancel culture, is getting very, very weird, especially in comics, especially now Hollywood is canceling everybody just because, they. And this thing with Johnny Depp, also everybody was canceling him. Disney and Warner Brothers, and actually he didn't done anything. And they just canceled him without knowing the facts. And yes, I hope he doesn't come back for Pirates, for Disney and Warner Brothers. He can do something else. And I think he must just stay with his looking proud of what he's done in his career. He can continue to do, independent films or join other studios besides Warner and Disney. I know it's very difficult because they own more than 80% of the market, but still he can do a lot with his career. And I hope he comes back great without those studios, those woke studios.
Honestly, the thing is, him leaving right now is the best thing that he can do for himself until this blows over, because he knows he's right. And as long as you know you're right, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Shelby. Hey, stop attacking my chair. But yeah,
I think it's really easy for us to say what he should do. I mean, none of us here are making that kind of money from a single film. I mean, I don't know what I would do if I was in his situation. I know he said he would never go back and work for Disney, but when it comes to
because
paying the bills,
because
it's a choice to make.
Yeah, but if someone fires you, well, I mean, you're talking about the money, the amount of money that he makes on each movie and marketing and whatever. But even though I think we, independently of how much the income is, I think we have a sense of, we must have also a sense of justice. If my boss just tells me that you're fired and with no reason, and a year later he calls me back, I'm not going back.
Obviously, you got a new job at that point.
Or maybe not.
But let's say you're homeless, right?
Or maybe not.
But let's say you're homeless. I mean, you got a family, Marv? You got wife and kids?
Yeah. No, kids, right. No. Thank God, no. Kids,
okay. No. So I got a wife and 2 kids that I'm responsible for.
Yeah, 2 hours.
So I mean, in a situation where, let's say things are slim, and we're looking at being homeless and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, in that
I
case,
might go back.
Yeah.
I mean, I might go back. So I can't say I never will, or or I can't speak for Johnny. I hope he doesn't go back to those places. I hope other opportunities open up for him that he doesn't have to. But
the way if people talk trash about you, you go back to work with them.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think
that's hard.
I mean, obviously he doesn't want to, right? Obviously he doesn't want to.
Yeah.
But I mean, hopefully he never has to. Let's put it that way, because there's a difference between wanting to and having to.
Yeah, that's very true.
I think we've all been in that.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's I don't want to go back and try to work at fast food again in my life, right? But if it come down to it, I'm gonna I'll try to do it. Because it's just because I have to versus a want to are 2 different things there. And I mean, if there's any other way, I think Johnny has got plenty of other opportunities.
For sure.
There's other ways for him to make a living. I don't think he's worried about that. Unfortunately, what it is, it's the fans that suffer that liked him as Jack Sparrow. And most of the fans that really liked him, they're not people our age. We're not that demographic. It's the kids.
Yeah.
Man, you gotta look at what he did as he would go as Captain Jack to hospitals, to these kids, like children's hospitals where they were sick, and he would be in character, and make their day, just make those kids' days. And it's a shame that's gone now, because of because of this whole debacle. And
I can continue doing it. You can continue doing it. You can just as Jack Sparrow continue doing it. It's just cosplaying right now.
Why would he? But at this point, why would he want to?
Yeah, I mean,
because but you can continue doing it because you can do as I don't know, Edward Scissorhands also. I would love it if I was in a hospital and watch him talking like that. He can continue to do that. He doesn't have to work for Warner, and people will appreciate his continuing to to dress like the character,
I think Disney's hurting worse than Warner. By not having Johnny on their roster. The fans have clearly spoken. They have clearly let their, no matter what the trial ends up being, it is the court of public opinion is in, and Johnny's come out the winner on that one.
Yeah, but nonetheless, like the character is tainted now.
Yeah.
He, you know, he wouldn't want to go back in that suit, and I completely understand him.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I do. I get that.
Yeah.
You know, but like I said, hopefully he never has to go back and work for one of those companies.
exactly.
There's that opportunity. I mean, the truth is, wouldn't we all hope that another option comes up even for us for entertainment purposes?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, haven't we all been disillusioned so far by Disney and Warner, and you know they haven't done us any favors as the fans.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
you know, wouldn't we hope that something else pops up, and you know, that they are able to produce something that we like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely.
Right now, I mean, I'm not happy with, I'm not happy with the Marvel movies. I'm not happy with with a lot of the choices Disney's making.
Yeah.
My wife and my kids have been a fan of Disney. I mean, for ages. I mean, it's just been, we like going to the parks.
Yeah,
We like,
my first movie was a Disney movie when I went to the theater the first time, the one with King Arthur and the little kid with this Excalibur, with Merlin.
yeah,
I
the
don't know
Sword in the Stone.
the name.
oh yeah.
Yeah, that was my first movie my first experience in a theater was that movie when I was a kid, and I don't know. My father just took me there. I was amazed by the animation. I started love Disney for that, and we lost that. We don't have that magic anymore. We don't have
No, unfortunately, we don't.
those cool movies. We don't have.
At one point in my life, I wanted to be a Disney animator. I thought
Yeah, me
that would
too.
be the coolest thing, is to be a Disney animator.
Yeah,
And,
totally.
Number one, animation looks a lot different now than it did back then.
Yeah.
So that's a moot point, but yeah, I mean, it's just I think we've all, at one point the greatest thing I wanted to, the other thing I wanted to be was I want to be an artist for
The big two.
Marvel.
Yeah.
Specifically, I wanted to work for Marvel. Now it's like, I have absolutely no desire whatsoever to work for either one of those companies. The big ones at the top.
Yeah,
Zero
no.
desire whatsoever.
I mean, that's the thing too. Like, we grow up, we start seeing the reality of it, and even back then, it would be a dream job because you would be drawing what you grew up with, but the reality of it is, it would still be a very serious endeavor. Like, good luck, working those kinds of deadlines.
Yeah.
But
Well, I'm not worried about those kind of deadlines. It's just the companies become something I just am not proud of as a fan. So I don't know that I could be proud of it as a, as an employee.
Mm-hmm. Also,
In what we know.
Are you guys hearing the kids outside?
What's that?
Are you guys hearing the kids outside?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think a classroom just came in and started playing around.
That's great though. It's not the kids playing.
I
It's
don't
not a
mind
bad
it,
sign.
but some people are like, kids, damn it. But let them play, dear Lord. It's the best thing you can
And
do.
the thing is today that with the internet and all social media and the news are shared everywhere, we know what is happening in behind the scenes. The people that are working are just being exploited.
Yeah.
The animators at Disney are just almost not slaves because they are being paid, but the income and the hours and I've been watching some stuff and it's very sad. The King Lion composers were never were never paid. They just stole the idea for the thing from an anime back from the 60s, and they are just ripping off other creator stuff, and people don't know about it, and it's very sad to know that Disney is using, like, now they want to use the likeness of Stan Lee for their stuff. Marvel sold Stan Lee's likeness to Disney for them to do cameos in movies and, I don't know, mugs, t-shirts, whatever. Now they are exploiting Stan Lee after he's been a couple of years of his life. So even after the dead, being exploited by Disney now. It's incredible how these things keeps happening, and the lack of respect for someone who brought so much to the community, to the comic book community. It's very sad.
Honestly, like, I just don't bother anymore. Like, I don't give them any money, so that's the best thing I
know.
can do.
I don't watch the movies.
No, I'm still a
I don't
collector
go
of
to the
Star Wars
theaters
stuff, so
to watch.
unfortunately they get some of my money.
Yeah, my wife and her daughter still giving me t-shirts and pajamas that I love, of course, from Marvel. I have a bunch of them. Last one, Diana gave me a Wakanda Forever t-shirt, and a great t-shirt. But that's only the time on Christmas and my birthday that they give me those kind of stuff.
Here's the thing, like, you're not supporting them directly. If I want to see a Marvel movie, I'll probably have a friend who has it on DVD or something. If I really want to watch it, that's where I'll get it.
I'll probably go see this new movie, but just
with no expectations, right?
Yeah, no expectations.
Yeah. Not big
no expectations of it being good. Just to go and hopefully be entertained, and and just see what's see what it is, and hopefully you see what all the fuss is about, with people. I do think I will say one thing. I think people have gotten to the point where they just take comic books way too freaking serious. It's like, come on, guys, chill out, chill the heck out. I mean, it's comic books, for crying out loud.
Exactly,
it's funny books, man. It's who cares.
They're not supposed to be real.
There was that one page where Supergirl had popped a pimple and there was zit pus all over the bathroom, right? And people were so mad about that. And I was like, why? It's just a stupid comic book. They're just being silly. Laugh a little bit.
Yeah.
Quit taking yourself so serious, Now, I get it. Like, when your favorite, like when they do some of the characters completely out of left field. But come on, at some point you got to be like, look, it's a comic book. These people aren't real. They're not real characters. Let's just have a little bit of fun with it. Let's enjoy ourselves. There are people that just take themselves way, way too dang serious. And it's ugly.
It depends.
Doesn't look good on them.
I think it depends on what is being done to the character, because if you grow up with let's say Captain America, and then you see that they just are taking everything 180 degrees to the other side.
Well, I'm not talking about Hail Hydra
being ruined.
Okay, I'm not talking about Hail Hydra.
I'm not talking about
that's
that.
Complete
I'm not talking about that.
180. No, but that's a complete 180 of the character, right? Like, it's outside of his character completely. Now, that kind of stuff, it's like, hold on, this is a beloved character. You can't do that.
Yeah, but like,
but if he throws his, but like, it is a comic book. Like, we got to have a little bit of, whimsy in there. It's like we take things way too serious. Like, I had someone ask me, it's like, well, one of my characters, she can turn into a gaseous form and move around. It's like, well, how does her clothes not burn off? I'm like, dude, it's a comic book, chill out. Like,
Yeah.
Did anyone ever ask how Sue Storm's costume, like, it's not real science, it's comic book science. I mean,
Hot pants, for instance.
Yeah.
Hot pants are always
They always seem to not
that's different.
break off the middle part. Everything else rips, but no, it's like, come on, it's a comic book. Just like, we've got to be able to, enjoy it.
When it comes to
There we go.
People just fight and argue about comic books way too much.
Yeah.
And I'll agree.
I think the buzz is more about the legacy of the character. I think.
Yeah, I get that.
That's pissing off people.
Yeah, trust me, I get that. Trust me, I do. But at some point we got to just realize that they're just doing it to tick off the fanboys. That's what they're doing it for.
Yeah.
Like, they're only there, and every time you react, it just fuels them to do more of it. It's like a bully. A bully would stop bullying if it bothered you, right? So stop buying the comic books, stop making all of your streams about how they suck, and just start talking about the books that you do like. If you don't like Marvel, don't talk about Marvel. If you don't like Disney, don't talk about Disney. Talk about the stuff that you do like, because negative attention, negative press is still attention, still press, right? We all know this from kids that act up. If they're a troubled kid, we all know that sometimes they're just seeking attention, even the negative attention. And so what you do is you just ignore it. My daughter, that used to be the one thing that we got when she was little, that we got the most traction out of. She hated not being in the loop on stuff, right? As a little kid. And so we would just put her on a couch right outside of the view of everything going on in the room. We could see her, but she couldn't see everything else. That drove her insane. That she could, like, she was not a part of everything that was going on, right? That was the best punishment we could do. With these people that are screwing up all these characters, the best punishment we can do is just take our dollars elsewhere and let them, well, why isn't anybody buying our books anymore? Because you suck. You suck. You're a terrible human being and you suck. But every time somebody says something about it on a YouTube channel or online or whatever, they just raise that flag like, look, we're being attacked because we're different. And that's not it at all. Where people are complaining because they're not happy with what you're doing. But we've got to kind of work together in a sense to be like, look, you guys got to chill out, and
Yeah.
Do you
I don't
think
expect everybody to agree with me on that, but
I totally understand your point of view, man. Yeah, but do you think that we are going to have are we going to be happy in a couple of years again when it comes to Marvel and DC? Do you think this book thing and this swap that they are doing that is going to stop, and we are going to have again those great comics that we used to have in the 70s and 80s and early 90s? Do you think?
I don't think so, no.
You think this is going to be worse?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Things from this point are probably not going to get better ever, because people aren't going to overnight start growing up and being able to handle someone disagreeing with them. Like these people, especially the woke, the progressives, they're not going to overnight be able to understand a rational conversation. That's not going to happen. The longer they're in charge, the worse they get. They become petulant children, and it's I don't think it's going to get better, unfortunately. I think what will happen is those brands will die.
Yeah.
They are watching right now the sales, and they don't hit the top 50. Just a couple of books, and everything is related to almost everything is manga. Just a couple of Batman family, a couple of titles from those and the rest is just manga. Yeah, the top 50 are just ruled by manga.
because that's where
I
the quality is.
I get people's, their constant like talking about manga, but I mean, I don't want to. I kind of get tired of seeing the comparison between manga and Western comics because they're not the same thing. They are
Europeans are
different.
also very different. Very different.
They're the same medium. They're not the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's just an
And
action
that's
movie
something that
and
a lot
a romance.
yeah, if
It's like
you
a
are a
movie.
fan of manga, then be a fan of manga. I don't have a problem with that at all. I think there are things that manga, that industry does, that we can learn from. But
for sure.
because I think you can learn something from every industry, and
Yeah.
You got to take the good, take what works for you,
Yeah.
and learn to mix it. Franco-Belgian comics for me, are albums that all have a standalone story. That's what I'm doing with my own series. Every single time, that's what I grew up with. That's what I love. But on the other hand, like a 6-issue miniseries, like American comics are used to, that is totally something I'm open for. Or a full-on graphic novel. That is something that American comics came with.
Yeah.
And manga just has the endless storyline, which just puts me off.
Yeah.
So that I'm not going to use
But
that.
yeah. I do think it's what mangas do. They do crank out a lot of material. It's tons of material they're cranking out, which I think we need to be better about that. We're cranking out a lot of material, but it's 13 different Batmans, or 5 different Spider-Mans. Like, come on, let's put out more material, but let's put out more diverse material. And I'm not just talking about make it diverse because this character's gay or whatever. I'm talking about diverse as in like different kinds of material. Now I love superhero comics. Heck, I'm drawing one right now, right? But not everybody loves superhero comic books.
No.
And that's one thing manga does right. There's something for everybody over there. And that's what I think that we can learn from here with American comics, with Western comics, is to be better at creating more content for people to enjoy. But again, I'm not an authority on any of this stuff. I do agree that what upsets me about comics is the continuity issues. That they keep changing, especially when they change the characters. Kind of the core values of a character. That drives me crazy because that's that it just goes against kind of who that character is that you've established. And, they're loved for a reason. So don't change those kind of things about them. As I look at some of these characters, I would hate down the road for someone else to have control of these characters and change the core value of who they are. It's like, no, that's not who Clarence is, or that's not who Ion is. Like they are they have a personality, that's been written and established, even though they're not real. Yeah. I'm not going to freak out but when they do something silly or something funny, I still want them to be able to laugh. It's like, let's have them do something, just kind of wacky or zany. I think that's fine. But yeah, I understand where people get upset with continuity issues, and the way characters are handled. So I would rather people get upset about that instead of some of like the silly things they get upset about, like like why that like why did Supergirl pop as it, whatever. I thought when I saw that panel, I laughed. I was like, that's so silly, like that's so ridiculous. And then I reminded myself, it's comic books. You've got to allow yourself to laugh a little bit. If we can't have fun in comics and do that stuff, I mean, and have a little, be a little goofy with it, we're going to be miserable. And I think we see some of the fans do seem miserable sometimes. And
yeah.
yeah, it's like, come on, let's just laugh a little bit. Let's have some fun with it. It's like even when I'm drawing here, I try to take the what's his name? Oh gosh, the Bob Ross kind of mentality. Happy little trees, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's art. I'm having
happy mistakes.
I get to draw a comic book, man. It's like I don't have to draw a comic. I get to draw a comic book. There are people out there that like my work enough to give me money for it. I'm like, come on, like I'm blessed. I'm super blessed. And I would rather people talk about how they like my book than keep talking about how they hate Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, if
and
you hate Marvel,
how are you?
You might like my book.
And how are you on your recovery while this comes to the drawing? Are you drawing like you used before, or are you struggling a little bit?
I'm actually drawing better than I used to, which is odd.
Mm-hmm.
I can't walk hardly, without like limping around. I don't do well as far as that goes. But I still struggle with energy. Like I get really tired easily throughout the day, and I require a lot of rest. But my art seems to be stronger than it used to be.
That's awesome.
Well, we're very happy that you're able to draw still.
Thank you.
Like, because
Yeah.
everyone needs to have that outlet, and
COVID took a lot from me.
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, it took a lot, and I lost the use of my left arm, so I can't play guitar like I used to. I can't sing anymore. Obviously my voice is more of this ASMR voice now than what it was. Than the voice that it used to be. Yeah, it's funny, but so it's it took a lot from me, but thankfully it didn't take art, because if it had taken that, I don't know, man. I don't know what I'd have done. I mean, who knows how I would react to that.
I understand that.
I'm gonna be honest with you. One of my biggest fears is losing power in my left hand. Just I would not know what to do with myself. And maybe on the next trip I have to draw. Having to learn to draw with my other hand. Whew.
Yeah. I've been there, man. I've been there. I was sending at this factory, and it was so hard to work there. I stopped for 7 months, always with pain in my hands, and 7 months without drawing, without being able to draw. That's straight lines, forget it. Shaking all the time. 7 months straight like that. Then I was able to draw for a couple of weeks, and 5 months after that again. Man, that was the worst of the worst. I felt so down. I was mentally just drained. I just got home, used to draw 3-4 hours a day, and suddenly nothing. Man, that hit me hard that time. Now I'm sending in another factory, but I've been doing other stuff after that gig, and now I'm sending, but this sending is not as hard as the first experience that I had. Sometimes, my hands hurt, and I have maybe a week in pain, 2 weeks tops, but not like it used to be. Man, that was awful. Mentally,
I can imagine.
Man, I cried so many times alone. My wife didn't saw me, but I was looking at the paper and crying with the pencil in my hand, and not being able to do anything. That was very, very hard.
Yeah, no,
very hard.
I totally believe you on that. I would have gone crazy.
Wow.
So how's the next Sin Killer?
Yeah, Frank Frazetta had a stroke. I'm almost done. I was looking a couple of minutes ago to what I've done. It's basically done, but I just have to put the grays on the black and white pages and do the layering, and I'm done. I want to launch next month. It's a shorter story. It's gonna have 28 pages instead of 32, but it's because I want to make a continuation in the other two books that the other two chapters, because this will be the first of 3 chapters. This is Gabriel, Reaper of Souls. Then I will have Michael, Hunter of Men. That will be the story, the origin of Michael. That's going to coincide to be connected to Gabriel's origin. And the third one is going to be the hardest one. It's going to be John's origin, how he became a priest, and he struggles to not unleash the power, because it's a very tricky power. It's a very tricky power. Bringing back people from the dead is very, very, very tricky, especially when you feel the pain of the dead and they seek for justice, and try to avoid to bringing them back to life, especially when you're a gravedigger and you hear the dead wants to come. No, you're feeling that the dead wants to come back to life, and you are the bridge between the afterlife and the living world is very tricky when you have that kind of power that you don't know where that power came from, but you have that burden,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I want to put that in the third page. This faith, raised by priests, and the power that looks like they came from a bad place, but maybe they didn't came from a bad place, because Michael and Gabriel are demons, they look like demons, both of them. But I'm still developing the characters, and I don't want to make them too good or too bad. I want them to have that middle ground between darkness and light. Good guys that look like monsters, kind of feel that I want to bring here.
Yeah,
Still working on that.
Is, characters, proper characters. They're creatures or people with their own problems, their own ways of doing things, and they might be wrong, they might be right, but it's how they solve things.
Yeah, that's the thing. And they are family. They are friends. They are family. Yeah. So I'm focusing on that too. They can't live without each other. These powers just bring them together, and they are their own person. They have their own personality, but they respect each other. They respect John, and they love each other, but they have their own issues between them. John is he's the boss, kind of boss. Gabriel is a rebel, as you're gonna see in this second book. He likes to do his thing. He doesn't he understands and respects John, but if he has to do something his way, he doesn't care about John or Michael. He's got to do his thing. Michael is different. Michael is a dog. He's different. He cares about what John thinks, and he's very loyal too. But Gabriel is loyal, but he always has that thing that he might know that I'm doing this, so I won't tell him. Kind of, that kind of situation. But Michael just is 100% focused on being 100% loyal and keep the rules straight. You know, he goes by the rules. Gabriel doesn't go by the rules, and in this book, he don't cares about the rules, and he just do his thing. But that's why I love the diversity of personality that these characters have. And I might go with another short story. I don't know yet. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just writing it.
No, the comes, man. I mean, people really, really enjoy the first book, and I know several people that are very much looking to forward to the second one, including myself.
I was very happy to see that Arrow logo on that book, by the way.
Sorry?
Yeah, I was, when Randy said, "Man, go for it." I was the happiest kid in the. I was like a kid, man. I was very, very humbled and happy. I still am. I can't believe it yet. And when Randy told me, "Man, go for it," I allow you to use the Arrow comic logo. I was 10 years old again with my first comic on my hands. You know, I told everybody. I called everybody, and oh man, almost 50 years, and I look like a kid. That was amazing.
But that's what comics can do for you. Like comics make you feel like a kid again, and that's what you know. I think that was my point that I was trying to make earlier. It's like, let's have fun. I mean, God, this comics, man, like these are fun. Like, you know, we work in an industry that it's like, it's, you know, we create brand new worlds. You know, you're talking about characters, you know, that's like, that came from your head and like you gave birth to that. Yeah. People get to enjoy that. And so not only, so you get to put that down on page and they get to open it up, they get to read it and they get to wait for the next one. You know what's going to happen. They don't know what's going to happen, but you do. You know, think about that. That's very exciting. You know, it's a, you know, comics have the ability to transport us back in time. You know, now and I get that's why I get upset sometimes with the way they handle a character that I love, because they're erasing a legacy about that character that I love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know, that made that character special to me and to a lot of other people too. But so I think it's a balance. You know, it's definitely a balance. But yeah, having that it was exciting when I found out that Randy was gonna do Arrow comics again. It was pretty exciting. I was happy that he decided that.
I really hope that he can continue on that endeavor, because man, the comics that he's got lined up, oof, I am so looking forward to getting all that.
Oh, I think he's gonna keep going with stuff. I told him, you know, I'm kind of ride or die at this point with him. You know, as long as he's got Arrow going, I'm gonna keep going. You know, I'm gonna keep producing for Arrow. You know, because that's Arrow was part of my youth growing up. You know, I would buy, you know, Tales from the Universe and things like that, and read those books. I mean, it's been years since I read the Tales from the Universe, but.
Yeah, sadly, I really cannot find them in the Netherlands, but I so want to read those. Uh-oh, we lost someone.
Oh, we did.
Yeah. He'll be back. I think his internet just failed for a second. We can put him back in once he returns.
I saw, boy, it's hot over there, I guess, where he's at. It's hot here, too. I'm in Florida, though.
It's actually a cooler day today for us. There we go. There he is. Welcome back.
You'll notice how I can work.
My the Bluetooth interfered. I just turned off the phones because there's no battery there, and I have to put this one in. Connection lost. Sorry.
No, it's cool, man. It's cool. It happens.
It's all good. You can see how I work so fast. I don't render a lot in the pencils. I do it a lot. I do it all in the inks.
Yeah, same. Though it's mostly rain right now.
That's what I do too. Yeah. So do you teach drawings classes, Luke?
What's that?
Do you teach something related to drawing?
Oh yeah, I've taught a little bit. I find that a lot of people are a lot more interested in my kind of my how-to tour. Man, talking today's hard. My tutorial stuff about how to, not necessarily how to draw a comic, but just how to make comics in general. I'm getting ready to drop a video hopefully today where I talk about I've gotten a lot of people that are trying to get into comics and they just don't know where to start. And so I've actually got a video I'm going to drop that pretty much covers the how to start aspect of it. Kind of the things to think about and what you need to do just to basically get a book out.
I'm gonna be honest, like before I started comics, I looked up so many of those videos too. And you get the guys that you instantly go, that's not what I do, but you also get the ones who are like, oh, right, yeah, yes, please give me more of that.
Yeah, and I think the reason why I want to do it is because I've wasted a lot of time on giving the information out individually for people to not take any of the advice at all. And I'm like, well, I'd rather just record it and then they can look at it and then they can decide if they're going to take it or not. That way I can keep drawing comic books while they decide whether or not they're going to listen to my advice.
Best way to do it.
That's funny to say that, but it's, I mean, anybody that's ever given anyone any advice on anything, has been there, where they just, it's frustrating, Someone comes to you, they ask you how do you do this? Or, what about this? And you tell them, and then they're like, oh, well, I don't think that's right. It's like, well, never mind. I mean, I don't know. How many comic books have I put out? I don't know. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I know, right? Like, I totally don't know what I'm talking about here. I was like, how many books published? Oh, that doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know anything. So, yeah, you're right. Just go listen to your friend who's never put out a comic book or actually didn't read them. Just go listen to that person. Tells you everything you're doing is right. I guess that's my sarcasm. I'm a lot more sarcastic now, like kind of post-COVID, than what I used to be. I love it. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
I still love sassy Luke.
Yeah, I am a lot sassier than I used to be. My wife does not care for sassy Luke, but
I can believe that.
Yeah, she's like, oh my gosh, you're so embarrassing. Yeah, I am embarrassing. I'm like, no, I'm not embarrassing. I'll tell you what's embarrassing. It's somebody asking someone that's put out, X amount of things, and obviously they come to you and ask your advice for a reason, and then they ignore it. It's like,
it's no longer your problem.
Yeah, like, why would you do that? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, well, some people want to hear a lot, but not listen to it. Like, they will listen but don't hear you.
Yeah.
That's what I mainly find. Like, they just either want to be get confirmation on the fact that what they were thinking is right.
Yeah.
Or they just want to be reassured, but not actually take what.
I think everybody. I also think people want an easy solution.
Yes.
I think at the end of the day, people want an easy solution, and it's. I think we all want to think, oh, there's got to be
people are lazy.
An easy or cheap way to do this. And at the end of the day, comics are expensive and they're hard to do. Even if you're doing it all yourself, or most of it yourself.
Yeah.
It's hard and it's expensive still.
Here is very expensive. Very, very expensive to very expensive. They asked me for I was asking for 150 issues in black and white with the colored cover, and the prices were between 600 and 1,300 euros for 150 books. Very expensive. And then I just checked Mixam in the UK, and I can do those 150 books customs and shipping for half the price. So yeah, here in Portugal is very, very expensive to print comics.
I mean, it's still expensive here. Even though it's cheaper,
the color price.
It's still expensive. Yeah, like and it's but then publishing and that's the other thing. Like making the comic book's one thing. It's the whole idea, like, well, how am I going to market the comic book?
Yeah.
How am I going to, how am I going to distribute the comic book? And, and one thing people forget to think about is who's your audience?
Mm-hmm.
Like who potentially is going to buy your comic book? And then you've got to write to your audience, and some people don't do that. And,
there's always the audience you create for, and then there's the audience that will actually read it.
Yeah.
So personally, I've been thinking about this lately. Personally, I create for young me. What would 8-year-old me be reading if I had the chance? Well, I would be reading the hell out of La Vancora. That is what I would be making. That's what I would put my allowance into. And so thinking about that, what does that mean about my audience? Well, they're essentially the people that would read the things that I would read as a kid too. So like all the typical Franco-Belgian comics that all around. In the same kind of way. And going from there, I know my audience, I know what I'm creating for, and suddenly, I know how big my demographic is.
Yeah, I've told some people, maybe doing a floppy is not for you. Maybe that's not really what you need to do. Maybe a webtoon is better suited for your book, or and I've even told people, it's like, maybe a graphic novel is more along the speed of what you should be looking at, and not just a floppy or something, so it's and I still also try to tell a lot of new creators, like, maybe try, don't do your passion for your first book.
No.
Like try something out, like, that you're not quite that passionate about. Now some people are, they're gonna, whatever they're passionate about, that's what they're gonna, they're gonna make that first. And so I always tell them, well, if you're gonna do that, then team up with some really competent creators to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
That way you're not wasting your opportunity.
And here's the thing: when you are doing your passion, like I started with Sage the Sunset, which is a gigantic graphic novel, and I got 110 pages in, and I was like, I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna redraw anything. This is just gonna be, my way to learn and tell a story. And yeah, I was setting myself up for disappointment when it comes to me visualizing what I wanted to create and what I wanted to write. But when I put it on hiatus and it was like, okay, La Vancora takes precedence, the first thing I thought was, but what did we learn while we were doing this? The project isn't dead, it's sleeping because I'm not ready for something that big yet.
Yeah, but even at that, I mean, anytime you're learning something, you're not wasting. It's not. It may not be what you wanted it to be,
Exactly.
but it was still valuable because you learned something from it. I mean, I learned something with every panel that I draw.
Yeah.
Like I'm learning something right now. Sitting there, I'm like, oh, okay, well, that doesn't need to happen like that. That needs to look a little different, And so you pick up on those things as you go.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
I'm still struggling with my style. I think I haven't quite found my style yet. I'm
Can I tell
happy
you a
what
secret?
I am doing right now. Yeah.
Style is the last thing you should worry about. And I tell this to younger creators. I tell this to older creators who are still stuck on it. Style is literally the last thing you should be worrying about because, dear Lord, it'll come out eventually. Like you just got to keep going and enjoy what you do because your style will come through. It's literally your hand making your style.
Yeah, it's what they call about like guitar players. They call it, the tone. I'm trying to find my tone. And there's this saying with guitar, tone is in the bones. It's in your fingers. That's where your tone's at. It's all about these right here. And I think, like I've got a style now, but it came from just trying different things that I liked and learning, a lot comes down to shape geometry, like how I decide to, do shapes on the page. And so, I mean, it was all about learning, how to, do that, a page layout or, how to draw a figure. And so, your style will come. And now, I don't mimic anyone else's style. I don't, and it's not because I don't want to, it's just because I just draw like me, it's just how I draw.
Exactly. Like, you have clear influences, but your work is very stylistic. Still, like I'm talking to MarV and but to you too, Luke. Like you can see influences, you can see inspirations, and you see it in every single person that you look at their art. That's normal, but that doesn't mean that it's not theirs. You can see the influences because it's theirs.
Yeah. Yeah, so it took me a while to develop how I was going to draw. And you can see that mostly if you look at the Hybrids books from like the first issue to the latest on how I draw faces. Clearly I've got, the way I draw faces now. But early on I was still trying to figure that out. I didn't know how I wanted the geometry of the face to look. I still do, and I had a similar shading style than what I have now, but it definitely has developed more because I'm like, oh, I like doing this. I just like how it looks when it's when it's shaded now. Art is so subjective. I mean,
it is.
I never like a page more than when I first finish it, and I never hate it more than when I look at it the next time.
Yep. Oh my God.
Wow, that was a great page. And I'm like, yeah, that's a bunch of crap. I hate that. The whole thing sucks. I should just quit. I should give up. I should not make comic books. I suck at this.
Yeah, and still we keep going. Yeah, I'm hating the pages I'm putting down for Love Chorus 6, I swear. There's just so much rain. And
So, look,
Glenn puts it down really well.
your family into comics? Do they love?
What's that?
You're breaking up a bit, Marv.
Sorry. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Just speak up a little.
Okay. So I was asking Luke about his family, wife and kids, if they are into comics. Do they love comics? What type of comics? Are they drawing something?
They don't really read comics. My wife, for the longest time, told me that comics weren't real books. They were just picture books. I think she did that to mess with me mostly. But she does read novels quite a bit. She does like the stories in comics, especially, she watches a lot of the movies, MCU and stuff like that. A lot of the problems that I have with the MCU, she doesn't have, because quite honestly, she doesn't know about this stuff,
Yeah.
So if
I gotta be right back and feed the monster.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're not, a longtime fan of this stuff, it doesn't bother you. My kids, they kind of like them, but they don't really read them. They don't get into them like I do. They are very supportive of me making comics, though, which I guess that's really what I guess that's the most important thing, really. If they didn't support it, I probably wouldn't be doing it. How about you?
No, my wife is not a comic book reader either, but she supports me a lot since day one. Yeah, but I would love her to be interested in comics, but unfortunately, she doesn't. But well, she loves horror movies and sci-fi, and so that's okay.
Yeah.
When it comes to my family, like, okay, I don't have a wife and kids, and I haven't had a girlfriend in 2 years, but like my latest ex, helped me create Love of Course, so that should say enough. But the first thing my family said was, "How are you gonna make money?" But my dad was a comic fan, and so that's literally what I told him when he was like that, and I was like, "You literally had every single asterisk. You were collecting Siska and Viska, like the Franco-Belgian stuff that I grew up with, and you're telling me how I'm gonna make money." And he shut up after that, and he's been very supportive.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever read anything, though. I know my mom actually tried to read Love and Quarrel 1 and 2 together with a dictionary, because she literally can't read English, or it takes her hours, which is just the sweetest and most supportive thing, and it nearly made me cry when I heard that. But like, yeah, it's just how it goes, really.
Yeah.
And no matter what or how people support you, it's fine if they don't follow your endeavor to the for every single second. Just know that they care, and that if that's about you as a person, that's fine too. Oh boy. Yeah. I think I'm gonna quit the stream at about 1.5 hours, because view count hasn't been too high either, and I'm so tired.
I understand.
Yeah, it's been a long week. I'm surprised I don't have a headache right now, because I've been walking around with a neck strain all week. because something popped when I was carrying down a washing machine down a flight of stairs with someone else. So
I
yeah,
love
that
this
was 1.5
character.
weeks ago.
He's
That
one of my
hurt.
favorite villains that I've got.
Ooh.
This guy's called the Soul Sucker, and so he looks like this, like kind of Nosferatu kind of comic, like
Nice.
vampire guy, but he doesn't suck blood. Now he does eat flesh, but he drains people of their life source, of their energy.
Mm-hmm.
And once he gets a taste of you, like he just wants to finish it, you know. So and he like kind of like leaves a mark, you know, with you. And so Bone encountered this guy
People
in
people
another.
change. People change. Do they get older, or he just drain their energy and they get tired?
He kills him. He sucks the life right out of him. Sucks the soul out of him. He consumes it. So
That's a proper villain, alright.
Yep. And so he
yeah, that's great.
yeah, so he he's a cool character. I like him a lot. He's a lot of fun to write.
Yeah, I can
And,
imagine.
And yeah, so he doesn't come around too often, but when he does, it's usually, you know, it usually means bad news. Especially Bone encountered him in a little short that I did, a 4-page kind of like post credits scene, and he sees him again here in issue 9.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to lay off on ordering my entire library of hybrids too until a volume comes out,
Yeah.
for the sake of my wallet
I understand
and for the
that.
sake of shipping.
Yeah, shipping is expensive.
Yeah, it is.
Even in the States, it's getting more expensive.
Oh yeah, no.
Mail prices have gone up.
I had to put down an extra €100 to get Europe shipped out. Even within the Netherlands, I have to start charging shipping because it's getting ridiculous. Like I have to start paying €5 for a single copy to anywhere in the Netherlands now. And Europe is turning into nearly €20. That's within the European Union, and then the UK is 25. It's getting ridiculous. Like you can't keep up. One of my biggest annoyances about it is that the backers are the ones that are getting screwed over on this. You know, the higher shipping is one thing, you know, I can handle that. You know, the backers have to pay that shipping. So to have them still go up and ship out, you know, and pay for that much shipping, that's just insane to me.
Yeah.
Well, here shipping is not expensive, and in comparison to other countries like UK and the United States. And we have a very cool thing that is every book, if you want to ship a book, you will ship it. You have a discount for being a book because in Portugal, books are like cultural items. So instead of paying 12 or 15 shipping to the United States, I can ship it with 6, 7, 8 euros. But there's this one downside: you don't have a track.
Yeah.
How you say the system?
Tracking.
Yeah, that's the only downside of it. Yeah, tracking. Yeah. So I gotta figure it out how to make the shipping lower as I can, and with the tracking system. But yeah, here is not very expensive, the shipping to foreign countries. I sent to Australia for €6, and to Peru €6 too. So
Wow.
Oh, that's nice.
that was great.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's
Let's
not
see how
that
it
cheap
goes
here.
this time. Let's see how it goes this time.
Yeah.
It's
I,
it's about it's between, I think it's around $7 now to ship a book here.
yeah, that's about €6
Yeah,
right now.
but that's for the packing materials too.
Yeah.
If I do medium mail, it's like $4 to ship one book.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
Which medium mail? That's what we use to ship books here.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna cut this stream short though because my eyes are falling, closing on their own, and I'm just.
I get that.
So. Oh, look at this little thing. She wants to play. She do. There we go. There's your obligatory Shelby moment. Right. I'll let him move over to the PC.
Yeah.
Lovelies, it has been awesome. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next Saturday for another Sketchy Saturday. And stay awesome, lovelies. Let's have a little outro.
Thanks for coming here.